breaking news that came out last night. The Attorney General's office in Mississippi, as they call for the end of Roe versus Wade and return to the state's rights option of life and abortion.
Let me read right from the brief right here. It says, Roe and CeCe are egregiously wrong. The conclusion that abortion is a constitutional right has no basis in text, structure, history, or tradition. And then the Attorney General goes on to ask that they overrule these previous decisions of the court.
This case is going to the unconstitutionality of abortion right, and then the arbitrariness of the point where they say a state's interest becomes compelling. So it really does undo Roe v. Wade.
This is an opportunity for the United States, and particularly states across the country, to catch up with the rest of the world. The rest of the world, Logan, has recognized that there is humanity in the womb and that a line must be drawn at some point during gestation. Logan, we've talked about it on this broadcast before, but I think we have to repeat it every chance we get. There are literally only 5 nations across the globe that don't draw a line and prohibit abortion somewhere. The United States is one of them. It's United States, Canada, China, North Korea, and Vietnam. Logan, it's a list we've got to get off of.
There's no question that the court should look at this case and the Dobbs case and overturn Roe v. Wade and overturn the CeCe decision, and to say states have the right to be able to make a decision to be able to protect their own citizens. What was done in 1973 with Roe v. Wade was this arbitrary decision to say once a child is viable, then the states could actually engage. As we know from medical science right now, in a child at conception, when that cell division is happening, that's DNA that's different than the mom, different than the dad. That is a unique human being that's actually there. That is a separate person. The court should just acknowledge what's already happening in science and what people can see. And quite frankly, you can look at a sonogram and what's self-evident on a sonogram. 10 fingers, 10 toes, a beating heart, DNA that's different than the mom or the dad. That is a different person. And when a state steps in to be able to speak into that, to be able to say, hey, we have the responsibility to be able to protect individual citizens, we should do that.
There is no right to abortion in the Constitution. It was a judicially fabricated right that was created in the opinion of Roe v. Wade. And that Roe v. Wade opinion has been continuously attacked by legal scholars, interestingly, on the right and the left, as a terrible opinion.
The Supreme Court has allowed states to be able to have laws in their state to say if someone kills a pregnant mother, that they can be held to account for them murdering 2 people. While the Supreme Court in one case allows the state to be able to protect the rights of an unborn child if there's an assault or a murder, they don't allow that same right of the state to be able to protect a child in an abortion. That is a double standard from the court. They should acknowledge that. They should pull back and allow the states to be able to make these decisions.
Roe talks about 24 weeks of viability, Logan. It is regular course for babies to be born before that and lead a healthy, thriving life. I know this firsthand. So it's just another example of how that ruling in Roe is very outdated.
They pick this arbitrary point of viability to say when a state's interest become compelling. And that is what this case is saying, is that that's an arbitrary point that was picked, and the states, this issue should be returned back to the states where it belongs.
Jen Psaki, the White House press secretary, she had a statement to be made about this case and what would happen if Roe is overturned. Again, the fact they're having to answer these questions tells you that there is for the first time in a long time, the likelihood that this could happen. Roe versus Wade could be overturned in our lifetime. Yes, not only in our lifetime, in the next session of the Supreme Court. Let's hear from Jen Psaki, though.
The president is committed to codifying Roe, regardless of the unrelated, it's all related, but to the outcome of this case.
So regardless of the outcome, whether the case is overturned and they decide, hey, the law is no longer what it was, the White House is saying, hey, we're going to codify this and we're going to come together. We're going to make it federal law. Sorry, states. Sorry, Supreme Court of the United States. It doesn't matter how you rule. The Biden administration is who will win overall.
Even in that answer from Jen Psaki, Logan, it sort of gives away the game. She says that the president is committed to codifying Roe. It's an admission that this is not a part of statutory law, right, that this is something that was made up out of whole cloth by the Supreme Court. And so, of course, they can revisit and see whether or not it was a misinterpretation of Roe, which I clearly think it was.
This is one of those cases we've been waiting for. I know, look, if those who have been on the front lines of the fight for life have waited for moments like this, so we definitely don't need to to hold off. We need to step forward and go forward in faith and go forward for the children of our country.